What was that?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Board meeting time. Big week.
It's the Monday after.
It's the Monday after, and I am struggling. I'll be honest. It's been burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah, right.
But like emotionally as well. It's like you're having really good days with people that you enjoy spending time with, and not sleeping much.
There's an intensity and a surrealness to it. Like I think was it Saturday, Sunday night? Like there was a madness in Portsmouth. I thought if this was London, this would be a night of rioting, basically. Like it had that kind of just sort of. Everybody was like so wired from a week of intensity. Yeah. It was like oh my god.
Well, do you remember like the first day we were down there? We had a good buzz about about being down there. Then the second day we went, it rained a little bit and the vibe was low. Yeah. And I can't remember what happened, but the vibe just took a while to kick in.
Well, the sun came out.
Yeah.
The vibes kind of changed before that. Everyone knew the sun was gonna come out, I think. And it just like a duk, 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 duk. And then you're back in that kind of momentary, like, I'm here, I'm alive, it's this brilliant. Yeah. So, we're talking about the Boardmasters, obviously. But before we go in depth into all the work and filming we did and didn't do at the Boardmasters, where did you surf? What did you surf?
I think my weekend can be described in 3 words: the bad, the ugly, and the sublime, basically. Ooh. So the bad was Friday night, just surfed local in front of, on the 7-7 Evening Star. I'd been frothing to get back on that, but it's been all kind of choppy and onshore, but it kind of started cleaning up. I got more dropped in on Friday night than I think the rest of the year put together, basically. Really? I don't know what it was about that. I think it was...
Might be your face.
It felt personal. There was one guy that dropped at me 3 times, and I'm normally the most.
Ignorance or like being ignorant.
I think willful ignorance. Fair. Nobody that dropped at me that I knew or recognised. None of the locals. It was all just people that come down. But it was that kind of size where people were like, waves were really good, but you had to work kind of hard, and so there was a lot of kind of head down paddling into it, and you just going along. You can just see them going no, and yeah, it's one guy just every time was just like, he's like, oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, and it's like you're not even fucking looking. It's like kind of you're starting paddling there, you're coming.
Hey, yo,
yeah, but it's almost like the mist has descended, like because they're just like going through it, and on 2 times like. I was in the sweetest bit of the wave, just kind of like as it was just starting to wall up, and you just really want to come up, hit the lip. Instead, you have to pull out because otherwise you're going to be decapitated by somebody coming in across.
Did you have a word with him?
I did, yeah. On the 3rd time, he was like, "Oh mate, I saw I didn't see you again." I was like, "Mate, you're not even looking." Like, and I never. First time I was like, "Oh, it happens, mate, no problem." Yeah. Like, but yeah.
Freak.
And when he did it on the 3rd time, that was probably like the 6th or 7th, like, and so I was just frustrated is probably the word, especially when you've had to pull out of like so many nice waves that you were like, oh god, that would have been so good. Saturday then was like, I don't know what was wrong with me, but it felt like as soon as I put my wetsuit on, I was going to shit myself in it, like kind of. So that was the ugly, yeah, like stomach bug or something like that. I was out, like kind of.
Dodgy water maybe.
I don't know. I combination of eating, but we did say had I swallowed a bit of water, like kind of it's just playing up. And Sunday I was looking good, so I was like, I'm feeling rubbish. Do I just lick my wounds today and then kind of make the most Sunday? Sunday I looked on the webcam and you could see it was going to be nice. Yesterday, yeah. But there's like 100 people in the lineup already, and I'm like, oh god, it's going to be just another one of those days.
Yeah, because you had Boardmasters people staying at Portsmouth. I know that because I know people who I was with were staying at Portsmouth.
Portsmouth was as crazy as I think I've ever seen it. Like, yeah. But Sunday, my secret spot. It's not that secret, but it is like kind of my spot. Banks haven't been that working, but I was like, I don't care if they're not working. I am just going to dodge all the crowds, basically. Not only that, I'm going to get in, like, because it kind of, on the inside, it's just closing out onto cliffs, is basically. So I got in as early as I felt I could, whilst feeling comfortable on the inside with not being smashed up against the cliffs. So climbed down the cliff, jumped off the rocks into it, and it was just working. Like, the banks were just on it, basically, and I surfed 3 hours, like literally, and the only reason I got out was because I actually started feeling seriously dehydrated. Like I could feel like salty headache kind of coming on.
When your mouth's really dry.
Really dry. I was spitting out kind of salty froth, like sort of. Even when the beach went low, nobody came and joined me. Like kind of, and I just had this like bank that worked. Like, well, it shifted the banks about, but generally I always had wave, and it was just clean right handle, one after one, like kind of 2-3 turns. It was closing out on the end section, but just getting enough like pumps, turns, and again, millions of fish. Like as the waves were coming up, they were just like glassy walls. You could see all the fish, and like shoals of like 20 bass just hunting them in there. There were cormorant seals. It was like probably the best surf like of the year so far.
There's some wildlife in Yuki.
I bet there.
But they were shoals of just
not spiritual connection. I don't like sort of.
How can you even describe the people?
God, in 3 words. The bad, the ugly, and the sublime. That's the weekend, isn't it? The bad, the ugly, and the sublime.
I don't know. They're just like I hear them talking, and I'm like, that's not a real conversation. But they are actually talking, and it is. But I'm like, yeah, we came down here last year. This is where we ate, and they're like, can't wait to tell the person who's serving them. Like, the person who's serving them's like, cool story, bro. You know, it's just weird. Yeah, and they'll be like, the peas are a bit cold. You know, what? Just like, what? How about you? Well, I know how your week went, because I was with you a lot of the time.
Obviously, Boardmasters competition didn't go exactly to plan.
It didn't.
Definitely didn't.
Do you know what? Like, I've had a few people have said this to me. Because you're on this channel a lot, you actually had a lot of people rooting for you, like actually starting to care, like kind of about you. Yeah, literally.
You let them all down.
They never said it, but one of them was like, "Oh, I was really rooting for John." I was like,
so I was down the beach, and a lot of people were shocked that he went out.
Yeah.
And do you know what happened though? This is like Shaper talking now. We were assessing what board he should surf. He had like this new shorty, which obviously he hasn't like built a relationship with, because he hasn't surfed shortboards that much. And then obviously the Chili Jam. And I was stoked because the heat before him, Eli had an absolute pillow fight, didn't he?
Yeah.
And just scraped through. The waves were just, it was just war of attrition. Just like, there was no waves. When we watched this heat, like, oh my God, just get on the Chili Jam and go as fast as you can.
Yeah, there's no question.
Yeah. Then and German said, as long as I don't have to, like, go vert on my backhand, this board's absolutely sick. I'll be loving life out there. First wave he takes off on, it's a backhand wave, and he's just surfed it pretty good. But it was on the Chili Jam, it's a bit softer and a bit more flowy and a bit more speed. And then you get to the end turn, and he's let the tail go and come round, and you just caught a shorter edge, and bam, over he went. And it's like, I feel like he wouldn't have fell on a shortboard, but the bank just turned on in his heat, and then you had killers.
Yeah.
He had the worst heat as well. Not any excuses. You've got to beat everyone.
Yeah.
But you had like such a hard first round. You had like 2 absolute killers, and then it was you and Heath. Yeah. I think Heath's the local killer.
Yeah.
The last person what Heath is.
Yeah, I think it was just they weren't really scoring flowy surfing at all the whole comp.
No, it was bash it up there, beaver.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other good surfer?
Yeah, I had obviously surfing around Fistral quite a bit, just free surfing, having a bit of fun. And then yesterday had probably one of the best surfs of the summer at my little spot around the corner, and it was just dead empty, nobody.
Oh.
Me and 2 friends, not even any of the locals were there either. I think it's because of the festival and everything, but
well, it's annoying to drive to everything.
Exactly, but it was just like perfect size, perfect tides.
And you got a big air, didn't you?
Yeah, had a really, really nice air.
I should have filmed it. I was busy drinking too much rum in the sun, feeling the vibes of Newquay. I had some good surfs. I only surfed my 610, which, as you know, is my least favourite.
I said it last week. You're surfing that way more than I thought you were going to.
Yeah, but it's because it's the only one down the beach.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking boards. I'm blagging. So the annoying thing with Boardmasters was I got like press passes so we could film on the beach, but all we really needed, we didn't really need tickets for the festival. And I think that they go, right, can these people blag it enough to get a ticket, yes or no? They deemed us yes, and I said, look, we don't actually want to do anything at the festival. It'd be just cool to get like parking and all access to the beach, to the competitors area. But because I had to go up the festival to get that stuff, and they don't have separate press. All the press are going to be at the festival. That's the way they're looking at it. So we didn't really get any added benefits, but I did blag a parking pass for the week.
It's a huge benefit.
Well, I've got the golf club, so it's no different. But it was, you know, every time we wanted to get in the competitors area, we had to go and get a competitor to get me a band, and just like you just end up not doing as much stuff in there because you can't. It's like, oh, here we go again, feeling awkward. You know, like you're doing something wrong. Anyway, that's why I had my 610. Yesterday, I surfed twice. One a little bit too far gone on the rums at high tide, but it was empty. Yeah, it was literally just the local board riders, like in the whole of Fistral. Well, people at South.
In the evening.
Yeah. Low tide, little Fistral with all the kids, which is brilliant because if you didn't catch a wave, you're pushing a kid into it, and we just dominated this little peak, and then we all got out and watched Lukas in the final. It was just super fun because obviously the vibes were just high from surfing. I actually was the last person he spoke to as he got in the water, because I was just getting out, and I just went up, gave him a little handshake, and just was like, and I saw the look in his eye. It's funny because I couldn't explain what it was, but I knew what it was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see fear, I didn't see apprehension, I didn't see a tall task. I saw a kid who had already seen what's about to happen, and he was looking forward to doing it. It was a whole week of feeling very in the moment, I think, and like that particular moment, I said to him something like, time to shine now, kid, you know, just like the whole beach is here on your team, and and then like the Spanish guys were like jeering a little bit.
Ole, ole.
Yeah, they were just being loud while he was getting ready, and I said, and fuck these guys. And he was just in his own zone though, so nothing's gonna stop him from doing what he was going to do.
And it's such a feat as well. You look at all the heats, all the different wave conditions, all the guys to consistently be there.
To
like,
stay 4-man the whole way, and then to do it in a better field. You've got to think of the odds, let alone being the best surfer, but the odds of it even being the best surfer in the event. It's quite often the case that the best surfer in the event won't make it to the final.
There's a huge dose of luck in terms of what the waves are doing.
Well, I don't know about luck. I feel like he made his own, but he just made it work. But anyway, so I just seen him. He's paddled out. He's done. He won the final in the first 5 minutes. With his 2 scores. Like that's just done. The rest was a show. So anyway, I walked down the beach as he's paddling out, and one of the local photographers went, "Oh, what do you think? He's had a tough final. Do you think he's going to do it? What do you reckon his chances are like?" And I was like, "It's not if he's going to win. It's how much he's going to win by." And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Trust me, absolutely see it in him."
Yeah.
I was like, I knew full well.
Stone cold winner.
Just his day. You were on the Lukas train yesterday, and then obviously there was a physical Lukas train when he won. With thousands of people following up the beach. It was class. You could just see it. Some kids were getting his signatures. Other kids were like watching from afar.
I was watching it. It's the first bit of competitive surfing I've ever watched live, basically. So I watched that final week, just to see it, and like
it was good.
The way they were pouring into the water, like kind of people in their jeans and t-shirts, like in the sea, like it's cool, good vibe.
Because obviously everyone cares to hear about my surfing, so I was just gonna say I had one good surf, really good surf over the weekend on my 610, and Jackson said it was the best turn he's ever seen me do. Yeah, I was well stoked on that. I put the 20s forward and took the rear fin out, and
What 20s did you put in?
The Brit Merricks in the forward position. If it just felt I could fully slide it. So that was the turn. I basically took off one little high line, pumped down, really nice bottom turn. Then as I was coming on my inside rail, it started like skidding.
Just released nicely.
But it released into the lip that it broke, so it went and then just sent me down to the bottom, and I really had to like compress. I was like
get the rail and bury it, like
just fully compressed down to the bottom. And I was like, the boys said they were going to film my wave, so I was like, oh my god, that'll be the best thing I've ever got on footage. And went up there, no one saw it. I was like, did you see that? And they're like, no. Cool. And then I asked Rory, and he said no, but Jackson's just said he thought seen his dad do the best turn he's ever done. Before he got out. Didn't tell me though. Still calls me a kook, but I was pretty stoked on that.
You put one together in front of me and Josie as well. Free turner, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, but they all felt horrible and boggy to me.
They look good from the back.
Did they? Yeah, turns always look sick. Fun. Fistral was magic because you had absolute killers in the water all week, which was hard, but you had pockets of it being ridiculously quiet because no one could access Fistral. And if they were on the source or watching the surfing or didn't surf. So you end up with these pockets, like namely in the evening. I mean, we surfed one evening with just me and Jackson in. Last night, absolute last light was just Stokesy and a couple of other local surfers just just trading off on right-handers at Fistral, just this lovely little ride, just going into the shore.
It kind of felt like peak summer, didn't it? Like that weekend. That Sunday just felt like kind of that was the day of the summer where kind of like everything been building to that day, Sunday, and then
this week's gonna be hard to, it's gonna be a flat one, isn't it?
It's gone offshore.
It's pumping, to be fair. Yeah.
It's got, and I think the weather-wise, we've got the best week and a bit coming up. Like, and the water is so warm.
It's ridiculous. You could easily surf a boardies, easily. It's not. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, my wetsuit is battered, and it's just not even a big deal. But what I did want to do is quickly just shout out a few people. Like, firstly, Joan. He was doing his best to work, and then he was buzzing for his heat, and then all of a sudden it was over, and I felt gutted for you, but it was sick that you're repping. I love that you surfed the Chili Jam as well. Yeah. Like, it's such a relatable board, and we're not chatting shit when he's actually surfing it in the heat. And you didn't get bad scores, you just didn't get through,
I just fell on a couple.
Yeah, that's it.
Scores.
Yeah, you fell on. You got to take your chances, haven't you?
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
level. Cheers to Joe for repping. Then Logan Nickel made it through a few heats. He was the highest placed Brit outside of Lucas. And then his heat that he got knocked out in, I think it was the 32 or the 16. I can't remember what round it was. Yeah, he surfed really well, brilliantly. Got his scores on bad waves, but he didn't surf the best waves. But he is up there, and I do hope that the GB squad, because he was the highest placed Brit outside of the GB squad at the Euros. He was the highest placed Brit outside of Lucas at Boardmasters. I wish in both occasions he just made one more heat to really establish it, but he went down swinging. You could see it wasn't the surfing so much, and I want to get back onto why I think he didn't make the heat in a minute, but I just want to say thanks to Logan because he's a legend. Everyone loves Logan. He represents any brand that he's working with. I cannot believe that he hasn't got a major sponsor at the moment.
He's like, he's one of those guys that feels like he's so professional about everything. Away, like he works at it, like he knows what he's about.
It's almost. Would you agree that professionalism maybe is contrived? Professionalism, what I think I should be doing. So I don't think Logan does that. I think Logan does it in a nice manner. I think he's doing it in a way that's how he wants to portray himself.
The way I kind of look at it is professionalism is like somebody that is behaving in the right way for the right job. So like, would you employ that person? Yeah, you wouldn't think twice about it, basically.
But if you were trying to be professional, I think it's.
Be professional for the sake.
In my opinion, right? You could go either way. It's what we were talking about last week with Alice. Is like maybe she was trying to be professional and they needed more realness, and that's what whatever. But like.
But if he got the GB team or something like that, like just that window, like kind of, I think.
I'd like to think he'd take the opportunity by both hands, and I'd like to think that it might elevate him a little bit, just showing that other people believe in him. Because I think that probably, I don't know if he'd admit this, or what I see of Logan is maybe he doesn't have the self-belief that others do, that maybe have less sort of power and agility when they're surfing.
Yeah, I think it's mind thing with him. Yeah, because he surfs bloody good.
He surfs really good. I filmed him doing a couple of free surfs, and it's just like, there's airs, there's power turns, there's combos, it's all there, but a killer needs to get the best waves, consistent. I'll fly through everyone, and then I want to talk about some interesting stuff that I picked up by filming so much and being down there so much, which was interesting. Lily Isburner, she's 17, she did her first open heat, and I think she might have got last in the heat, but what I really noticed was that she made, not mistakes, what's the word? She didn't do things, she wasn't comfortable doing the things she needed to do to win a heat. It's not just about surfing. Her surfing was there. We filmed, that's who it was, the other clip on that session when Cass got the air. I got a good turn of Lily.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who it was. What I was saying, I knew I got another clip that. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, she surfed really well, and I want her just to be more angry. So I told her to come up to the factory this week and have a look at her footage, because there's so many things she could do to, so she had priority and let someone get a wave, and then as in the hard bit, when you've got priority and someone catches a wave and you can drop in on them. Yeah. She didn't do it. Yeah. Little things like that, and that ended up being one of their scores. And I reckon she's got loads of stuff where she could work on that doesn't necessarily have to be you need to get better at surfing overnight for her to do better in comps. So that was really positive, and she's worked hard because she's got she started surfing a little bit later. She hasn't got that clicky kind of having like my son is just going to have more opportunities because his dad's a shaper. She's not got any of that.
Yeah.
She's just on the outside, and I think that's so much harder. So good signs. Then Josie is just a superstar. I love her. Absolutely love her. She's Josie Hawke. She surfed well. She seemed nervous. I think she really wanted it, and I think that might have got in the way of her just letting her surf her best, but she still surfed amazing. And I think if she could do that final again, she made 2 mistakes in the final, which stopped her being on the best waves. I don't know if you guys watched. They didn't do it live.
They didn't do it live.
No,
They didn't even give the results live, so I couldn't really follow.
That's super annoying. So she came second.
Yeah.
And there were just 2 very small moments above, not knowing where waves come, but just if she'd have paddled out a little bit further, she gets on a wave. If she doesn't paddle on one before a set, she gets on a wave. They were long rights. I don't believe anyone else in that final could have get the scores Josie gets, and that's not to take anything away from the other girls. They all come again, and everyone's going to have their day. Everyone in that final can beat everyone else, but I feel like Josie gets on those 2 waves, it's good night. But she still came second with bad waves, so she surfed really well. But the best thing about Josie, other than constantly encouraging people, always being up for surfing with everyone, taking criticism and constructive criticism, and just being a positive part of whatever you're doing for that day, she gets second. She finds out that her last score wasn't the score she needed, and instead of head down being gutted, she walks straight up to all her competitors, who, as far as I'm aware, I don't know the ins and outs of girls surfing, but they're not her best mates, congratulates them all. And what I was really let down by was Willow, the girl who won it, kind of come from nowhere. If you're not from Newquay, you wouldn't have maybe heard of Willow Smith, but she surfs more than anyone. Me and Jackson always joke that like whatever session it doesn't matter if it's pissing down very 6 foot on shore, you'll get out back and she'll be there. You know what I mean? And she's always surfing, but she hasn't got that clicky kind of, she's not in with the cool crew. And I saw in the semis and the finals, her peers maybe not go over and congratulate her, but rather to console their mates who didn't win. And I thought, I felt, I just was like, I really wanted to go over and cheer her up as well. So she did have mates to cheer her up. Lily did it. Lily cheered her up. But Josie ran over and held her board up for the photos, which was a demo, which wasn't anything to do with her sponsors, so it's pretty pointless. But just the gesture of doing it and sharing in Willow's. And when she came over, she was like, do you know what, I'm not even bothered, I'm so stoked that Willow won. I feel like it's like... Who
did she ride for? Willow, anybody?
Willow, no one. No, she's riding a demo board from Ben. Yeah, which arguably is probably maybe a little bit small, but she surfed good. She's better than a lot of the girls. Like, this is the thing. None of those girls will like it, but she's faster than them. She's got more dynamic tricks, i.e. she does this kind of forehand layback that none of the other girls do. And because she surfed so much, she's built that power off the top. She's got a bit of a unique style. She's doing well and kind of doing it her way, and I think everyone else is trying to be the professional, and she's just like going surfing. She keeps herself to herself a little bit. I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to say hello to her. It's not. I don't know her mum or dad or anything. Just see her down the beach constantly. And it showed up in the final. She was a local girl, so she knew the waves better than everyone. She caught the better waves. She surfed them well.
Yeah, was she the only local in there?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, she was sort of. Sonny Ingram's. Yeah, like up the coast, isn't she? Yeah. But she surfs Fistral a lot, so she does know the waves. Yeah. But I just don't think the other girls in the final had an answer for what Willow gave that day. So I was like, shout out to Willow. She beat all the other girls. They didn't have. I don't think they had an answer for her, and it was sick. The junior boys final, right? So Lucas won it. Lucas comboed everyone. I actually don't agree with the judging in the final. Yeah, he comboed the field in the juniors, which I guess is kind of expected. He's winning the men's with relative ease as well. Not ease, but he's, he was the best surfer in the comp.
Yeah.
So like the juniors technically was as hard to win as the open. That's the way I look at it. So number 1 Lucas.
Yeah.
Number 2 Reen Bowen Anue from Newquay. Number 3 Heath Gillespie from Newquay. Number 4 Jay Phipps from France.
Yeah.
So like you don't often see that. Jay Phipps is a very good surfer.
He's won it before.
He's a previous winner. And the Newquay lads, normally what will happen is you get 2 Newquay lads in the heat and two travelling surfers from France or Spain or Portugal, and we're struggling to get through the heat.
Yeah.
And then you go to the final and he just got shut out. He got completely shut out. Reen surfed incredible. This is what I don't agree with, because Lukas, obviously, I've got absolutely no question in my mind, he won it hugely comfortably. But do you know what winning by putting competitors in a combination means? It means that in order for them to beat Lukas's score, they can't get one better wave and add it to a pre-existing wave they've already surfed. They have to surf 2 new waves to better the score. So, for example, if Lukas's total was 17 and they've all got 6s, they at least need a 7.5 to, a 7 point something. So their requirement would then be a 9 on the second wave.
Because what 10's a maximum, so you can't.
Yeah, so they all needed fresh waves, but Reen surfed so good in that final. He surfed really well. He didn't get the opportunity to get better than 3rd with the waves he had. It was just a really frustrating one because he surfed so well all week. I think he really wanted to light up in the final. He's like passionate.
He was frothing all week.
Yeah, shout out to Heath. I love Heath. I love his energy,
Legend.
His passion. He had some close heats on the way to the final and pushed through, and the semis he surfed absolutely perfectly, knocking out another international surfer. Just played the guy like a fiddle, like sold him on 2 waves with prio and then took the best way. Like, he's a hell of a competitor. Trust me, he's going to be one to look out for. He's just going to get better and better. So it wasn't his final. He didn't get waves that would allow him to get better than 3rd. But Reen, the other local lad, took off on his backhand on a set wave, bottom turned, top turned, completely under the lip, fins out, dropped down to the bottom, completely seamless, no pumps, into a bottom turn. Did exactly the same thing on a closeout section. Bang! I'm like, that's at least a 7.5. At least a 7.5. Takes him out of combo, like, put some respect on his name, And they gave him a 6.8, and I was like, that's the only thing. And I know it doesn't matter because he still got 2nd, but like, it was legit up there surfing. And if Lukas had done it, there'd have been a big score dropped. But you're so conditioned to how good Lukas is.
Yeah.
And Lukas's scores, for the most part of the junior comp, in my opinion, were actually too low. Like, he'd
100%.
Do you think that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'll get a score and they'll be like 6.5, and you're like, well, you've basically just told everyone in the heat that they can't get 6.5s.
Yeah.
Because that was phenomenal. You need to put his up there. Yeah. But then it didn't matter. I'm not slating judges at all. I'm just saying that I feel like if they looked at the replays, Reen surfed better than his scores, I reckon. But he was just, unfortunately for Reen, he was up against greatness. And I genuinely think that's what we're witnessing. I've always believed in Lukas. I've always thought he was a special kid. Just the way that he would want to approach things, even as a really, really young kid. It's just, he didn't do it for other people. He's doing it for himself.
To put into context, though, like, kind of, greatness as in where's his career going? I
don't think it's if he gets on tour. I think it's when he gets on tour.
Yeah.
I don't think it's if he wins a world title. I think it's when he wins a world title. I don't think it's if he goes down as an all-time great. I think it's what is he going to do to get there. The only thing that will hold Lukas back is when he gets to where he wants to go. And I hate people judging that. I think there's tons of great people that people wouldn't say are great because they got to somewhere that made them happy. So hopefully he doesn't have to push himself to be the next best Kelly Slater, because he might not want that. But if he does, he'll flip and get there. I just know. He's one of those people that he understands life. He's willing to put the hard work in, and I mean, think of it. He won the double last year. He snapped his leg.
Yeah, broke his leg. Yeah. And that's the thing that I was surprised with the most, that he was cutting on the back of a leg break, and you're like, what?
And he's better than he's been, and like, he does the double, and he does the double in a much harder field of competitors. Like last year, brilliant. But I wasn't as impressed as other people. I was like, I knew he was going to win. I thought G-Man could beat him, and I thought Pat could beat him if they get the waves and he doesn't. But it was a great result. I'm not taking it away. I'm just saying. But this year, it was actual, like,
quality surfers.
He had to get out of second gear this year. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he did. He had heats where he didn't get the best waves and still won it. He had heats where, if he got the best waves, he was winning the heat comfortably. If he didn't, he was probably winning the heat comfortably. It was just one of them. But this year, to do it in the format they did, which I don't know why they did it, it annoyed me, because they had plenty of time. They ran 4-man the whole way. So if you think in 20 minutes or 25 minutes, trying to establish a consistent best surfer when effectively you're bringing into the equation wave catching contest as well as good surfing contest, whereas man on man, I'd argue it's probably easier for Lukas to just batter everyone, but to do it in a 4-man with all of the surfers that are in it, it's just incredible, and to do it 2 years in a row, I can't help myself. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near his best achievement.
It's just crazy that he's 17. It's ridiculous. Well, how well his head's screwed on for that age.
It's what's the word? It's transcendental.
Transcending.
It's ageless. What he has is you just needed to get big enough physically for it to come out the bag. He had that when he was 11. He just couldn't beat you when he was 11 because he's too small. But now, all that experience, all that power, it all comes in, and then you start seeing the sort of utilisation that he is a bred, gifted athlete that has chosen surfing. That's kind of, and he's got a hell of a, with his dad being his dad, his uncle is carve mat. He's got so many good connections, and some could be like, oh yeah, it's a cakewalk, but nah, there's plenty of people in the UK that have had lots and lots of connections that he's doing what he's doing. It's undeniable. So shout out Lukas, you killed it, man, and he's doing something special for British surfing. It's never been in a better place, and you can just see it from the juniors. Just see it from just look at the junior final. That's his mates that he's surfing against, and they all really want to beat him, and that is just making them better and surf harder and think more. And
Is there a in terms of the impact on British surfing, like we're saying, kind of he's going to do it, it's going to show others, like kind of it's possible. We're going to start seeing is there a chance that he's too far ahead of like the rest of the competition, and like even though he's a Brit, like he's still not relatable enough for a lot of the kids coming through, because it's just like he's too otherworldly, like. No, it is filtering down.
Yeah, because you're going the Brit. Look, we've spoken about it before. I don't think there's the depth. So I think like if you statistically worked out how many world level surfers are coming out of England versus how many surfers there actually are in England, we're probably not miles behind America and Australia, but we are behind because we also don't support that enough because the infrastructure hasn't grown around it. So what Lukas leaves behind is a trail of infrastructure, effectively. So. But then, you get people that really, really want to beat him, and either way it's going to push them a little bit higher than they maybe got if he wasn't there. Yeah. So it worked, but I did something that I really noticed about the Brits. So Mo, we're talking in text, it's the signal's so bad. I didn't even see Mo the whole week. The signal's so bad down the beach, you don't get the messages
till like 4 hours later.
So like every evening we were having a little recap, and he's like, "Why are all the Brits going out?" And like people are asking me.
My mum said the exact same thing.
Yeah, why are all the Brits going out? And I said, like, they're not good enough in heats. It's not necessarily the surfing. Like, I don't look at Logan and go, he's got good enough surfing. I'm using Logan as an example, but I could use Stan, I could use Pat, I could use anyone bar Lukas. There is surfers that can be better than them in that comp, but if you give them the waves and they do their surfing, they'll get through heats for sure. But consistently we see them not getting the waves, and then when a bit of pressure hits and they really need to land that turn, they don't land that turn. And two things that I really noticed was that they're. So I spoke to Luke Dillon about it because I wanted to make sure I made some sense on this camera, but like. I said, what do you do? How are we going to get these surfers to surf more waves? And he said, well, you're basically you're trying to gather data about how many waves they catch every 20 minutes, and then what their average score would be out of those waves. So, for example, this guy catches 4 waves, but his average is 7, and this guy catches 10 waves, but his average is 4.5. Who's got the best chance statistically to make it through heats? And you might find that the guy catching more waves with a lower average has got a better chance of making the vast majority of heats that they've been through on a data collection. So it's trying to get that out of people, but then it's obviously at the same time getting them better at surfing, which would then increase their average. And that's what they're missing, and you notice it in the heats. You're always when a Brit gets a wave, you're always like, yes, go, or yeah, or you're not just like, he'll get another chance. Whereas you watch Lukas, and he'll just try and air. because he knows he's going to get another chance to do that air again. And if he tries 10 airs, he's probably landing 8 of them.
And what is that wave catching? Is it a combination of like wave IQ, paddle fitness, like
all of that?
Attitudes?
I think it's inherent heat understanding.
Yeah.
I think we're way behind that. I don't think anyone gets coached in heats apart from the GB squad for the last 18 months. The other thing I noticed, the technical side of things, is that the criteria for the judging, so we talked about it last week, you've got to surf to the criteria. So for example, on your chili jam, in those conditions, on that left, very hard to surf to the criteria on the chili jam.
Yeah.
So no travelling surfer who understands that is taking the chili jam in that. They're rather going to gamble that their shortboard, they're going to have to work it harder to get through chop. Whereas Jones thinking, I can do airs on this board. I'm going to try not to take off on lefts. You know, not a bad way of making decisions, but it's just a more naive way to make decisions in that format. There's that, and there's the criteria means basically that up and down surfing is scoring better because it's harder, it's more critical. And UK surfers are hell bent on making speed. And they're making speed, and then they're coming to the sections way too fast. So their surfing is more lateral, and they have less control at the end of the turn. And they think to themselves, "Oh, I just needed to stick that." But the reality is, you were mid-face the whole way, and you didn't put a solid grounding bottom turn in to wash all your speed off, to then go to your vert turn with effectively hardly any speed, just to stop and go bang, and then come back and do it all again. That bottom turn is not there for most of them, and these are, Pat's is better than someone's, and Stan's is better than someone's, but all the way to the level of all the Brits. But if you take them on their bottom turns in comps versus the travelling surfers who've brought up maybe with understanding judging criteria more, it's just not there. It's not comparable. So you could say easily they're not as good at surfing. They are. They don't have to get better at surfing to practice their getting deeper bottom turns to time that. That's just something they could go and grind, but they've never gone and grinded it. They're fluffing around all the edges of all of this stuff, but it's new, is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we're so behind in the trajectory of understanding those heats that we need someone to dissect that, like Luke, who's a new coach, by the way, who's a really good coach, and I know he's getting better at coaching, but we need someone like him to go, right, I really want that person to utilise their surfing in 20 minutes to make it through more heats, because otherwise, absolute mass exodus on round 1 and round 2 of all the Brits. And it's just easy to say it's because they're from England and they're not as good at surfing. Well, why the fuck did an English guy just win it with his fucking hands behind his back then?
3 months after a broken leg.
Exactly. Yeah. So you lot are doing something wrong, and it's fine. Do it wrong. We're all supporting you to start doing it right, but let's pinpoint what those things are. And to me, it was night and day. Bottom turn, to get critical, to wash off that speed, and not catching enough waves. And ultimately, not catching enough waves in heat is probably self-belief, because you're like, should I go on that? Nah.
I think you've got to say as well, like, we just don't get as many reps at competitions than a lot of other countries.
Yeah.
And it does, it does look as if quite a lot of the English people they don't feel comfortable in a heat situation almost.
Not as comfortable.
Where all the other surfers, you can see they're so used to it, and they've done it so many times that it's just like almost second nature.
Yeah.
But for me,
Mo was researching into the French system, or starting to
Mo's going to start.
Yeah.
Mo wants to start collab surf academy. He's like, I cannot sit by and just watch this happen. We need to get these guys. He's not even thinking about collab as in only people riding our boards. He's like, I just want to help British surfing. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get these guys fired up for comps, because you're right, they're not comfortable in heat situations, right? So there's the one thing, and then the other thing, their surfing is not adapted to it.
Yeah.
So then you're not going to feel comfortable. If you know that the way you do a Rio is perfect for what the judges want to see, sweet. But if you're so hell-bent on making loads of speed because you think all the other good surfers are faster than you, and you go to the section laterally on a mid-face with loads and loads of speed, it would be technically way harder for you to do a turn than that person, because you haven't got that angle.
Yeah, it's like that panic, almost rush.
Yeah.
approach.
This is a bit of a detour, but I remember I had a friend at school, and we used to hang out all the time, like kind of best mate, like pretty much used to live at mine. A lad, like kind of played rugby on the beers. For his for his GCSEs, he got 11 A stars. For his A levels, he got 4 A's, came in the top 20. And I remember saying, because like, he never struck me as being like bright, like, and I was like, how do you like? Do you revise for hours? Like, you're always out with me, like, kind of like, how's it going? And he's like, I just know how to do exams. I know exactly what the examiner is looking for. I don't even have to know the answer to the question. I just know I need to format my answer like this, and I get 3 marks automatically because I've structured it in the right way. And it was just like, and I remember thinking, oh God, like I don't even think about that kind of stuff. I'm just like, oh, what's the answer? And then just going on some fucking melee to try and find it. I just remember like it was the art of playing that game basically. Didn't need to be wild.
There you go. And arguably, it's the most important. Like, so you can lean on talent.
Yeah.
And you can lean on hard work. But if you got both, then you're probably going to get a bit further. And then what will happen is, because of the depth of England's and the surfers in it, we're never going to have loads of world champions, but we could increase our percentage.
Yeah.
If once every 20 years now we have a world-class surfer, what if we have once every 5 years? Just by implementing these things. And I want to help so bad. You know, I know that I can get people amped up, but like, you don't need people like me. You need the technical stuff to back it up. So it's not just me going, you're good enough. It's like, this paper says you're good enough. So go out there and do it. You know, and if we can help be a part of that, or if we can see that happening, because if the funding dries up for the GB and we're back at square one, then we need to go, right, we weren't ready for that chance yet, but we can still get ready for it. And I want to talk to Lily, for example, and just say, hey, if you did this and this in the heat, suddenly it became easier for you to get through.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to get better at surfing to do it. And then, you know, if you do that turn that you do, then you're going to get better scores. So you don't think about not doing anything but that turn. And if you do this, you know, dissecting all this all and just giving them the confidence that you're just like, I'm going to go out there, beat all these people at my local beach, because we know the waves better, especially at Boardmasters anyway. You know, and I'm sure things are going to get harder for Lukas on the road, because then you bring in all the
distractions, noise, like
the
time spent
hotel I'm staying in
and
shit, and I've living and my boards didn't turn up. He's going to have to deal with all that stuff, which will definitely make it harder. But I'd like to think that his fundamentals are going to get him to the point where he can get on the Challenger by the end of this season.
Yeah, I reckon.
And
I'm feeling it for sure.
Yeah, and here's a prediction that I might be wrong, but I'm pretty happy to stick my neck out it. The Challenger is easier for him than the QS.
What's the Challenger?
The Challenger's the good waves. Well, the better waves.
Yeah. Fuck, how sick would that be?
I just think it suits him better. I think you put him on somewhere with meaty 4-foot sections rather than crumbly 2-foot sections. He's still doing the airs, you know. He's still got the speed, he's still got the maneuverability. And then it's just a question on, does he want to get on tour?
Imagine him at pipe.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got wave for the winter. So yeah, so it's all good experience. So a couple of years on the Challenger. I don't think it's, like I say, I don't think it's if he gets on the world tour. I think it's going to be a timing thing. Like, you don't almost want to get on too early. But then again, I can't see him, say he gets on and he just gets his arse absolutely handed to him.
It's not going to phase him.
Yeah, I feel like he's like, okay, I'll learn. Yeah. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But like, Ethan Ewing's a good story of it, isn't it? 'Cause he got on early, got his ass kicked, went off, disappeared for a couple of years, came back, essentially a superhuman, but he hadn't got any better at surfing. Yeah, I think yeah. So and in the meantime, what a hell of a life as well. And that, I think as a British, if I'm looking at this and I'm kids and I'm from England and I want to give surfing a go, okay, there's a roadmap now, and every single day there's going to be one more person who wants to help a little bit more, like Mo and like, you know, I don't want to say us because I don't know how much help we can be, but like just anyone. You're going to match up the enthusiasm with the ability to really make a difference, and it's going to become more attainable for more Brits. And we're seeing, you know, we've got effectively we have to jump on the coattails of what's happening now, and I hope that next year's Boardmasters, the event was perfect. Oh, by the way, shout out to the contest director, because Paulie Jeffries is a legend, Yuki legend, and mate, he just nailed. There wasn't a heat that wasn't in the right, you know, he got the longboards in at the right time, the juniors in at the right time, the open was always in the best, the open men and women were always in the best waves. He didn't miss a beat. It was literally perfect. I don't think anyone who went to that event, thousands on the beach watching the surfing, no one has gone to that event and not said that's a sick event to go to.
Yeah.
And it's going to be bigger next year.
Judging was good as well, I'd say.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I'd say is it didn't fit the UK surfing, which isn't the judges' fault. It's the UK surfers.
Do you know what I was thinking about this? Like, kind of, there's something about the combination of the festival and the competition sort of going, which kind of they feed into one another. Like, and I was thinking, like, what other? Because like I know in Porthtown we have Tropical Pressure, which is like a festival, and like Porthtown's like round, it's always busy because like when the weather's good or what have you. And I was like, what would happen if you held like a surf competition in Porthtown exactly the same time as Tropical Pressure in like Stoke Angel? And I was like, how many other Cornish festivals by a beach that you could surf on that you could start doing that, and the two kind of like went hand in hand in a way.
surfing.
Just flowing it.
Big old festival.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, to me, I don't care about the festival. Like, to me, it's like...
No, it's the way it brings in people and energy to the event.
Yeah,
like,
the energy is incredible.
Yeah.
But, yeah, go on.
Commentators were shit.
Oh my God.
I thought I was watching the cricket.
No, mate.
So bad.
No,
and
mate,
biased,
honestly.
like, so
They
biased.
I was so angry that first day, man. So they...
Was this live commentators? Was on the on the feed,
but they're on the
basically?
beach,
Imagine-
on speakers.
So they're on the beach on speakers. There's no live for the first 2 days, right? But it's obnoxious. Not them. The sound is obnoxious. So just shut up.
Yeah.
All the surfers need to know is how much time they've got constantly.
'Cause
what the situation in the heat is constantly, and any updates you get in real time. They don't need to know who you think is surfing that wave and how they're surfing, because they got that wrong so many times. Like in the final, they're like, "Oh, Josie, up and riding.
Yeah.
She's a natural foot. All you got to do is look at your paper. That's a green, and they're a goofy. Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
They were pissing me off. They did get better. I think, they were.
They were just talking about windbreaks the whole
Yeah,
time.
they took anything. It was just they loved the sound of their own voice, and the amount of times where I saw surfers just needing some information, and they just and then they'd say the information. I
say it wrong a lot of times.
Yeah, so Josh Hughes sat on the wrong guy in his heat, and let the other guy get a wave because they told him they got the information wrong. Logan was sitting on a guy with like 3 minutes to go, and he needed a score. He didn't know he needed a score. As soon as they said it, luckily he got a wave and he batted it, and it was fine. But he could have got knocked out because they weren't doing the thing they need to do. They need to be hard pressed against when they're getting information so they can give it to the surfers. Surfers shouldn't really have to do that, I don't think. They shouldn't have to do.
So when they do that, they're asking for information.
They're signaling for information, yeah. And sometimes there is no information yet because the judges are still processing. But then you say that to them.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have to do that, because the moment you get information, you relay it, and you relay to them what's happening. That's what their job is. Their job isn't to entertain the beach. No one on that beach, and I mean fucking no one, will be entertained by what the shit that they're saying. Sorry, lads, because I know they're good. I've heard they're good, like lads, but it's just like.
But on that, like, I think that they were partly doing it for the live stream online.
You've done that on purpose, didn't you? You said that just so I would just spout off on that 100%.
No.
You were like, watch this. I'm going to say the piece of shit so hard. Mate, because I kept
open the cat.
This is what I'm saying. Like, because I was watching it online, I wasn't there. And it sounded like they were doing it for people that were watching it online. It was more like a TV broadcast commentating, which is why you needed that constant sort of dribble. But I didn't realise they were live. But when they kept on repeating, "Oh, Red, you have it, Red," I was like, why are they doing that online? Who gives a shit? And that makes sense now. But, so I think they were trying to cross both.
Imagine the first days when there is no live.
It's still exactly
Imagine the juniors where there is no live. And then when the live does come on, all right, well done. Now you've given yourself an excuse to do it. Yeah. But it's still drivel and shite and.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it sounded like the cricket. It's like, here he goes for the bubble bag. Whatever.
The pride, mate, because it was pissing me off. It was pissing me off, and it's probably my ADHD. But it's like I can't talk to someone when I can just hear because it's hitting my fucking brain.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to just be like. So I'm getting pissed off even if they're saying really valuable information. But I'm absolutely fine with that for the benefit of the competitors. Yeah. But when the benefit is no one,
Yeah.
What are we doing? Sorry, massive rant. I know you just baited me up for that, but I'll fucking happily take that bait with a hangover on Monday morning. And I've not really got anything personal against.
Yeah, of course not.
I've heard they're good lads.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're good lads. They're kind of bantering. It's not like they're saying like horrible stuff. You know, they're not like saying homophobic stuff or racist stuff. They're not saying bad stuff. But just like. Can someone not just tell them? Can someone? Oh, I've got to calm down. Can someone not just tell them? Like they must.
When you're in a restaurant and the music's too loud, and you just go to the. Well, do you mind just turning the music?
Yeah. Do you mind just not playing heavy metal in this restaurant?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
about some violin? Yeah. Like just shush a little bit. But I don't think anyone told them so anyway. We are going to be available on Spotify. Joan is uploading all these because we've been asked to add on Spotify because you lot keep on watching YouTube videos when you're driving, so don't do that. So we're putting these on Spotify. So if you don't want to see how rough we look today, then click it on Spotify and you can listen to it. What I was running for kids in between filming heats and stuff like that is I was doing little competitions. So like we did 50 quid for the best clip. Oh mate, I've got to give you a little shout out here. So we did like 50 quid. We didn't say for the best clip. We said if anyone gets a banger of a clip, we'll give 50 quid from Collab.
Yeah.
Joan goes, don't miss my first wave, so I'm going to do an air reverse. He went out there, first wave does an air reverse. Clip here. Go on, you can put it in.
Nah, it's ugly.
Yeah, still an air reverse when you claimed it though. At the end of the day, no one got a real banger clip apart from probably Eli Perrins-Davies, but my kid was on the beach having a tantrum, so I missed it. Eli did a massive layback, so shout out Eli. He probably would have won the 50 quid, but I didn't blooming film it, so I've got no 100% recognition. Yeah, well, I mean that's what they all said as well, and I'm like, no, I'll happily give you lot 50 quid. I just want them going out surfing like this, like something's on the line. I just want that energy, But then I was doing the under 16s. Pot of chocolate strawberries because they have this they're 11 quid.
Yeah. Frankie won it.
Yeah, Frankie won the strawberries, and then the next day, Frankie got an even better one, and then Heath. So the next time we tried to win it, which we came up with a little concept, £50 for the best clip of the surf.
Yeah.
So no one can still win it if no one gets a good clip, and they can vote for that amongst their peers. I don't need to be the caller of that. I can just say, what do you think's the best clip? I think it's this one. But £50 the best clip, but they went out and did it, but it was on sunset. I couldn't film. My camera wasn't focusing, you couldn't see anything.
Light.
And Heath won that. Heath got a really good 2-turn on his backhand and he would have won for sure, but I couldn't even film. It was just a nightmare. And he came in going, I should have filmed it because he came in going, money, he literally walking on the beach.
What are you doing to Heath? You're like lining him up and then fucking him over.
Yeah, but I couldn't film. Eli went back into the water knowing that I wasn't filming it anymore.
Yeah.
So he told them, you can't do it because you can't film because of the light. And if we'd have waited like an hour, the sun went down and it was still really good, but everyone was on festival mode by then. So we're going to do one today maybe, or this week, says Waves. Nice. So that's coming out. Board reviews on Axel's board, the OG. So
that's out.
The OG
that's right.
From Axel is out last night. If you're looking for the ultimate UK hybrid, that is the first in line. Mm-hmm. That is the original Gangsters. It's so aptly named. So go head over to the YouTube channel and look at that one. I'm flaking big time, so I feel like I've talked a lot about commentators there. Took it out of me. What boards are going online this week?
So the one that's going to be...
Oh yeah, so we're calling it Steal of the Week, aren't we?
Yeah, it's the lush one.
So sick. I'm jealous of this one.
So this is obviously, Paul probably doesn't need any introduction now. There's been loads of content put out by us and others on it. It's the Stab in the Dark winner, the pedestrian ship. This one is 511, and there's been a bit of discussion around the actual colour of this board. Like, it's, what did you call it, velvet?
Yeah, but that's not right. That's a texture.
Bordeaux?
Claret.
Yeah.
Why?
Just deep dark red.
Sensual dark.
Yeah.
Deep.
Like it's the ultimate surfboard colour, isn't it?
It is lush.
Yeah.
But the reason why we've got this board is because of the colour. Customer ordered it. The colour was actually pretty much spot on, but working with a red like this on a board that's so intricate bottom contours does lead to some challenges, and there will be photos in the online, but you can see where the glass has been sanded at the edge, the red's disappeared, and you've effectively got what's like a hairline white line. It looks like a default, but it's actually just a bit where the colours come off and the glass is kind of shone through.
It's clear glass being cut by a Stanley. Yeah, and it's cut across there, and instead of then sanding that back and styrene in that so it basically disappears, Jim did all the hot coats and left it, and then we polished it up after a finish sand. You can see those lines. So we remade it for the customer. It really doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I guess it will go on as a B grade just because there is that slight.
It is a B grade. We remade it because of that.
Aesthetic imperfection, but I mean for real, it's an absolute stunner. And this one will go on for $799. $799.
Full tin.
Full tin.
There you go. There you go. That's going on. So have we got anything else? Because I'm flaking and we need to go surfing.
I need to go for a surf as well. That's what I feel like today.
Yeah. So we're gonna surf and then sleep, and we'll be brighter and bushier tailed next week. Until then.
Well, shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to me.
Yeah.
That's a lot of energy invested in terms of like going out there.
I had a great time, so I really don't want to take any credit for having a really good time all week. I worked a lot, I shaped, I festived a lot, and I enjoyed myself, and I love being part of British surfing right now. I feel like being able to put a small dent in it in our own special way is a good feeling, and I just want to do it so much more. And I'm with Mo. I want to do a surf academy, and I want to turn all the surfers who want to be pros in England into beasts, and Ireland and Scotland and Wales. And I think it's all in a good place, and I'm just the best week ever. Loved it.
That's a good acceptance speech for the shout out.
Yeah, I shouted myself out.
No, I shouted you out. You just accepted it with like a little speech.
With a little speech.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Can I get a little shout out for like
holding the fort down?
You can have a shout out for not headbutting someone who dropped in on you three times.
Yeah. I don't know what headbutted me.
You definitely have. You rugby player.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Been headbutted, but.
Alright, well, cheers. Have you headbutted anyone?
Not yet.
There you go.
Not yet.
None of us have headbutted anyone. Bye.